In the tradition of Malcolm X, peace be unto you. Last year, 2021, there was a lot of hype, a lot of media hype about the number of homicides occurring throughout the year. It was media hype because no one, except for me, made an effort to reveal the long-term data regarding the homicide rate in Oakland. My thesis was and is that it is normative, not irregular, to see the numbers of people being murdered or killed in the city of Oakland. And furthermore, my explanation for it is that a cultural transformation has taken place in the city of Oakland, specifically in the African American community, but also in some other communities, and throughout the nation. That is to say, Chicago, Detroit, and Los Angeles, and other major cities. Because a different kind of culture has emerged and become normative in Black communities throughout the nation. We are not witnessing the culture of African American people in the 50s and 60s. The baby boomer culture is not even being witnessed. It is a post-traditional, and even in some cases, a post-modern kind of culture, anti-culture, if you will, because it is increasingly destructive of the lives within it. Now, I'm not going to go into detail with regard to all of the variables or factors involved in making life more difficult to live out in Black communities. I did that in a previous talk, and if you want to hear it, then find it and listen to it. I do a semi-thorough analysis of the causes for the cultural degradation of African American people. What I want to do today, since it is June 4th, 2022, is I want to follow up with another analysis, which I have completed. I stayed up late last night working on an analysis that will give us a framework within which we can predict or expect what the number of homicides in Oakland will be this year. And then all we have to do is wait until December 31st, 2022 and see. Last year, I predicted 124. There were 134. That's not a bad prediction. I was off by 10. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of my data, and you can see it here. It is a graph of the number of homicides which have occurred in the city of Oakland for, it looks as though we're talking 50 or 60 years. And so take a look at that. I'm not going to analyze it for you. It's pretty easy to read this pie chart. I'm sorry, not a pie chart, but it's pretty easy to read this bar graph. What I do want to show you next is my method of calculation and what I have concluded. And that is that this year, the number of homicides in the city of Oakland will fall between 90 and 130. There's a 58% chance. There's a 58% chance that the number of homicides will fall between 90 and 30. Now, the average rate is 106. So either 90 or 130. Now, the city homicide rate, as of this writing, is already at 48. So even if at the end of this month it reaches 50 plus, at that rate, it will hit at least 100, 106. It could go up higher. I doubt seriously if it falls under 90. Of course, we'd like to see that. We'd like to see at the end of the year only 48 homicides. But given the current circumstances and the institutions involved in generating what I call the social entropic effect, we should expect that the rate of homicides will continue to increase. And for that reason, other problems will arise. Because there are cultural, structural defects in the African American urban centers. And they are many, and they are intersecting and generating tremendous negative stress on millions of African Americans throughout the nation. And unless there is monetary reparations, let me repeat that, unless there is a monetary reparation to African Americans, an intervention, the quality of life deterioration will accelerate. Nothing can reverse this but monetary reparations from the U.S. government for situations that stunted the cultural, intellectual, and life quality growth of African Americans during slavery. Aside from the fact that our ancestors didn't get paid, and I can't say we, because we are the genetic extension of those people. When you look at us, you're looking at them. We are just a genetic extension, like a rubber band stretching over time. We are the same people. So that is my short talk for you today. And I just want to say, yes, I use Oakland as my model, but you know from what was discussed about Memorial Day in Chicago and other major cities where homicide is pretty stabilized, a stabilized negative occurrence. It's the same across this nation. Baltimore, New York City, and we see it over and over and over again, along with the murders by white supremacists, such as what occurred in Buffalo at the Tops grocery store. So with that, I hope you think about urging President Biden to give reparations. Don't put too much hope into it. My position is they won't do it. It would cost them trillions of dollars, not just in reparations, but in monetary loss to all the institutions that depend on African Americans destroying their lives. I am Dr. Stephen Nur Ahmed. Peace be unto you.